Episode 49. Narrow your focus.
Awaken the leader inside. Follow the path of leadership. Never give up. Never stop trying. Get up. Believe in yourself. Not every day is going to be easy, but you got to challenge yourself. You need courage. Be ready. Stop waiting for it to happen. Go make it happen. Harness the power within. You are destined to be a leader. Follow the path of leadership. Awaken the leader inside.
Episode 49. Narrow your focus.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. My name's Dave Rubalcava, and I'm your host here at Awaken the Leader Inside, a show dedicated to your leadership journey. Remember, you are never alone. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode, and if this is your first time tuning in, I appreciate you guys finding the podcast. So hey, today I just want to share something that happened to me recently. So I know we just talked about accountability in the last episode, and so I kind of wanted to give you an update and what happens when you truly narrow your focus. And so I think a lot of times in our careers, in our lives, we hit these walls. And like I talked about in that last episode, accountability is definitely difficult. Sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow, especially when you're being challenged. And everyone gets challenged, guys. Everyone gets challenged at some point in their career, if not daily, weekly, monthly. We're going to be challenged. But what you do in those moments, demonstrates the character of your leadership. And so, like I shared, I'm very transparent. I like to share things real world that are happening to me because I think it's important for you to understand that even at any level, whether it's beginning, advanced, intermediate, you are going to struggle with some portion of your leadership. And as you progress, you're going to still struggle with different portions, and that is normal. And when you're in tune with your leadership, you will be able to consciously steer the boat back on track. That's the whole point, is that you're never going to be 100% flawless as a leader, but what you can be is 100% in tune with what you're struggling with, because then you're more likely to make decisions to push you back on course, and then you balance your leadership. So being open, honest, transparent, and self-aware is the way that you become a strong, successful leader, and your results are predictable. But I did share that I was struggling a few weeks ago, and let me just kind of catch you up to speed on what's happened since. And so what we did as a team is we actually narrowed our focus. And you're like, okay, what does that mean? Okay, in other words, if there's 100 things that we're struggling with right now, we're going to go after the top 3 items that are causing the biggest challenges for us. We're just going to narrow our focus on those 3. And for us, it's very simple operational things that we just kind of lost sight, but we narrowed our focus to push a lot of energy. But not only did we narrow it as a leadership team, we narrowed it as a store, as an entire store. We are going to narrow our focus to these specific focuses. And what we did is we spent a whole entire week just focusing on that, moving the needle, keeping the team engaged, making sure that we're having huddles and we're talking about our progress and talking about what we're focused on. And then on my end, being the store leader, having the one-on-ones with my team to level set. These are the expectations, where are we at, what's the progress, what are the challenges and hurdles you guys are dealing with right now, and let me figure out how to help you get through those, or what suggestions do you have to get through those obstacles. And when you kind of narrow your focus like that, you guys, don't get me wrong, there's still the other 97 items that are kind of up in the air right now, but it helps you start to build momentum, and that is the biggest and strongest thing you can do to get momentum going is start to show some signs of results, some signs of us making progress, because something truly amazing happens when you start to see progress. It's excitement. And excitement is contagious. Don't ever underestimate when your team is excited about something, what they can do. Just think about it. I mean, I'm sure you've been in a position where something exciting is happening, or you're part of a team that's winning, and all of a sudden it's like, man, we're making stuff happen. It's like exhilarating. Well, guess what? You can manufacture that if you understand that getting small results can be the catapult that leads you down the path of getting greater results or building momentum. So never forget how important that is. But I'm going to tell you something that I learned myself in this process this past couple of weeks is, I needed to really step back and identify, which I think I shared this on the last episode, identify why am I failing? And when I realized that I am not level setting or setting the expectations for myself right now. I'm contempt, maybe I'm distracted, but either way, I haven't level set with myself to say like this is not the leader who I am and this is not what I represent, so it's going to change today. And how it's going to change is by level setting with my team and sharing not only some of my frustrations and listening to their frustration just so we can get that on the table and get it out of the way. And now it's like, this is the game plan. And that is the challenging thing, guys. When you narrow your focus, you have to have a strategic plan behind it. You got to have some type of way to measure it as well. So that way you're on track. But narrowing your focus helps remove a lot of the noise. And I think what's distracting as a leader is we get bombarded with all of this noise and things that are happening around us, and it happens, like I said, it happened to me. It kind of blurs your focus, and then you kind of lose sight on what you're trying to achieve right now. So narrowing your focus will at least get you started with focusing on the top 3 challenges that you have, whether it's personally in your department or in your company that you think you can contribute to. Find the top 3 things that are holding you back that are going to be the most impactful. And I'll give you an example. Like, it's really simple. Like, if you're struggling and you're understaffed, it doesn't matter how many hours you throw at it. It doesn't matter how much more you put onto the team. If staffing is affecting your ability to perform, then that's going to become one of your top 3 things. Like, hey, I got to get staff before we even try to push the envelope or push metrics, because right now we can't even get simple tasks done because we're simply understaffed. That's the way that you narrow your focus. And then, yeah, it's going to take energy. It's going to take energy to set up interviews and follow up and find the right candidate. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'll interview like 25 people to look for one great candidate. And you're like, that's crazy. Yeah, it is, because I'm looking for talent and I'm not going to settle on just anybody, because I know long term, if you just settle, you're going to get mediocre results. And that's not what you're about. That's not what I'm about. And my team is not about that either. So we're willing to search through 25 candidates to find one. So I want to tell you that narrowing your focus is going to be a challenge for some people. Some people are great at it. Some people struggle. Honestly, most people struggle, including myself, having to narrow your focus because we juggle so many things. Now, what you can do is really write out, and this is my tip for you because this is what I had to do. Okay, write out the top maybe 5 things that I think are hurting us right now. The top 5 things that I feel is contributing to our failures, and let's write them out. Some of them had to do with game plan. Some of it had to do with leadership. Some of it had to do with follow-up. Some of it had to do with operations. Okay, so let's take the top 3 that can really move the needle quickly, and how am I going to approach that? So that's what you can do. I want you to write some of these things out. This will help you not only in your career, but sometimes in life. When we get lost, it's just sometimes a good idea to sit down and write out things like, what do I think is holding me back? What are my challenges? What are my barriers? Something cool happens when you write it out. For some reason, it becomes tangible. It becomes real. It becomes something that you can focus on when you write it out. So use that as a tool. Use that to get yourself a refocus. And I just want to leave you with something that I think is truly a life lesson. All of us will lose focus at some time. It's going to happen. It's hard. Life is difficult sometimes, and things come out of nowhere and kind of derail us. The better you get at learning to identify what's holding you back, and what's clouding your focus, you're going to get stronger because you'll begin to recognize something is off right now and I'm struggling right now. That is a good thing. It's good for you to recognize, because it's better for you to recognize than for your leader above you to recognize your failures. And that's just being self-aware. But I'm going to tell you, the leadership in you is there. You got to be open, be honest, be able to look in the mirror and say, I'm failing right now. That's okay. I did it myself. I do it all the time, you guys. I really, truly do. It's not about the failure at the moment. It's about what are you going to do to change it. And that is leadership. It takes leadership to recognize your shortcomings and then for you to exercise your leadership to change it. That's what leadership is, you guys. It's really simple. It's being able to identify your strengths, identify your opportunities, and change those opportunities and lead through your strengths. And I just want to tell you guys, I appreciate everything you guys do. You are the future. So tell me if you have any questions or you have any feedback, email me at david@awakentheleaderinside.com, or you can message me on our Facebook group at Lee Nation. And I appreciate if you guys do that. And just if you have any questions, let me know. But this is your time. This is your time to narrow your focus. Narrow it on your goals right now. Narrow it down to things that may be challenging for you and holding you back, and then go after it full throttle. Like, you can do it within the span of a week. You can revolutionize where you're going in your career, because I did that. With this last few weeks, I had to reharness my energy, my focus, my leadership, and boom, we got ourselves back on track delivering results. We got ourselves back on track, pumped up and motivated. It just takes the initiative to move the needle, and that starts with you. So you are the future leaders of this world. You got to do it. Step in, make it happen, be brave, show courage, and go drive it by narrowing your focus and make it happen. Stay tuned for another episode. Always remember, awaken the leader inside.